Dear student, now we will discuss what is the role of liver in digestion. Okay, so before that you need to understand what is liver. It is the organ as well as gland. It is located in the upper right hand portion of abdominal cavity beneath diaphragm, and it is said to be the largest compound gland in the body. Liver cells can regenerate and can replace the lost liver tissue from remaining tissue. The liver is the only visceral organ which possesses the capacity of regeneration. So this is one of the interesting fact about the liver. If you look at the structure of the liver, you can see this is the right and this is the left lobe, and this falciparum ligament divide the liver into the right and left. The right one is larger here, you can see. Then there are hepatic ducts which are there. There are hepatic cells which are situated here in the liver, and there are hepatic duct which collect the bile, and the bile enters the gallbladder where it is stored. So gallbladder is called reservoir of bile, and through the cystic duct it is connected to the main bile duct, and this bile duct carry it toward the intestine. Now this bile duct joins the pancreatic duct from the pancreas, and together they form a common duct called hepatopancreatic duct, and this duct is connected to the duodenum. So at the end of the duct is the sphincter of Oddi, and they regulate the flow of bile and pancreatic juice to duodenum. Now we will see the different cells which are there in the liver: hepatocyst, Kupffer cells, hepatic stellate cells, and sinusoidal epithelial cells. So these are chief functional cells of liver, constitute 80% of the liver mass, and produces bile for digestion of fat which is stored in bile gallbladder, and through bile duct it passes. These are polyhedral epithelial cells arranged in the form of lobules. Okay, so here you can see these are hepatocyst. Then Kupffer cells are macrophages and carry out phagocytosis. Basically they are associated with immunity. Some of them also act as antigen presenting cells, and they also secrete cytokines. So these are actually the functions related to the immunity. Then hepatic stellate cells, they store 80% of vitamin E and other lipids. Sinusoidal endothelial cells form the wall of blood vessels. So this is how the organization is. Here you can see in the sinusoidal Kupffer cells are located nearby, and then hepatocysts are there, and stellate cells are there. So this is just to give you an idea that how the different cells are there in the liver. Okay, and now the function of liver to the major functions in the body. It has a role in all kind of metabolism. Let's discuss one by one. Like carbohydrate metabolism, it do glycogenesis, where the excess of glucose is converted into glycogen. This process is called glycogenesis, and it takes place in the liver. It also carry out glucogenolysis, that is breakdown of glycogen to glucose as per the need, and gluconeogenesis, that is synthesis of glucose from non-carbohydrate sources such as amino acids. It also carry out metabolism of alcohol, and it is also an important seat for limb formation. Protein metabolism is concerned. Here the synthesis of plasma proteins occurs in the liver. Blood clotting factors are synthesized in the liver. Heparin, which is an anticoagulant factor, is also produced in the liver. Deamination and transamination of amino acid, that is removal of the amino group and transfer of amino group, is transamination. is also taking place in the liver. So conversion of conversion of amino acid to the non-nitrogen part. Then urea cycle also operate in the liver, and it produces angiotensinogen protein hormone, which help the kidney to carry out the osmoregulation. Now in the fat metabolism, it carry out the digestion, absorption of the fat, also the fat soluble vitamins. It also carry out beta oxidation, is the pathway to break down the fat to provide the energy. It carry out synthesis of cholesterol and bisalt, phospholipid also. Excess of carbohydrate proteins are converted into the lipid. This process is called lipogenesis. The other function of the liver include RBC formation and even the breakdown. Formation means maturation especially occurs over here. Liver breakdown the hemoglobin and produces the bilirubin. So bilirubin is one of the bile pigment, and it stores the ions which are reused in the formation of RBC. It stores fat soluble vitamin ADK, and it also plays important role in detoxification of toxic substance. Okay, now if you see the bile juice which is present in the gallbladder or stored in the gallbladder contain 98 to 97% of water, and its pH is basic, that is 7 to 8.6. It carries bile salt, bile pigment, fat, and inorganic salt. Bile salt are called biological detergent, and they emulsify large fat droplet into smaller one, and they are derivative of cholesterol. Major bile salt are sodium glycocholate and sodium taurocolate. Bilirubin are derived from the degradation of heme ring, porphyrin ring, and they vary in color texture from yellow to green. Bilirubin and biliverdin are the yellow and orange. Biliverdin is greenish pigment, and they provide color to the feces. And then fats such as cholesterol, fatty acid, lecithin, they are present in the bile juice. They form chylomicron. Inorganic salts are present in the bile juice. So if you see what is the function of bile juice, they help in the emulsification of the fat so that the fat is easily absorbed. The emulsified lipid droplet form ionic complex with a bile salt called micelles, in which hydrophobic side is toward the fat and hydrophilic toward the outside. Okay, so hydrophobic is toward the inside. So how the formation occur, you can see this is large droplet of fat and acted upon by the bile juice, which reduces the surface tension, break down it into the smaller droplet. Now the lipase act on this, okay, and digest it. These small droplet once formed, they are covered by the bile salt, which provide overall negative charge to these droplets. Now the negative charge prevent the reaggregation of these fat droplet into the large one. Okay, so bile pigment gives color to the feces. Bile increases absorption of fat soluble vitamins. Bile help in the excretion of some of the metal like copper, zinc, and mercury, which are toxins. So since the liver do the detoxification, so these are secreted in the bile and eliminated through feces. Bile also carry out excess of cholesterol out of the body, dump into the gastrointestinal tract, and it stimulates the peristalsis. It causes neutralization of chyme and also causes activation of lipases. So these are all what is the function of bile juice. So next portion we will see the role of pancreas and how the bile, pancreas, and intestinal juice, they help in the digestion of the food in small intestine. Thank you.